Hey, great to be back on stream. It's really nice to be live on such an important time for our country, Australia. Barely 1 week to if you like, the biggest election, which is election to Parliament, 47th Parliament. And I know a lot is happening around the country, a lot of activities, campaign trains. Um, but we just thought for culturally diverse communities, we need more visibility. I know quite a few people already making some effort. So this program is just to add to those efforts, give it visibility, some key issues we should be considering during an election period like this. But before I go ahead, which is really important for us, I just want to acknowledge country. For us, doing this is not just ticking the box. We would like to begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we gather today, even though we are doing this online. We pay our respect to their elders, both past and present. And I extend that respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Island people. Having done that, let's get into it. This is showing up. I know that word could have been overused, maybe overrated, I'm not sure, but it makes sense for a time like this. It's very important for culturally diverse communities to show up. It's not showing off, and I think that needs to be clarified. We are not saying that we need to show off. So showing up is not showing off. And yeah, because sometimes it may be construed as time to show off. You want to show that you're on TV or on live stream. This is not the case, definitely. We take this serious. It's a time in our lives, in our country, where different constituencies, different stakeholders are showing up in one way or the other. And we think culturally diverse communities, multicultural communities, also need to show up, not show off. So why this program? It's not really just to do another live stream. My name is Ephraim. I have been active in this space of bridging the gaps for our plight as culturally diverse people. It's not out of not being busy. I have quite a lot on my plate, but the issues we are confronted with require some extra effort every day. So this is just adding my bit, and the organizations are laid. One of them has been Multicultural Professional Bridge, which is mainly focused on bridging the gaps for professional people, skilled migrants. But over time, we realize that just like the iceberg illustration, we can keep plowing ahead at the superficial level. We can keep assisting with CV writing, and I'm not saying those are bad, they are absolutely necessary. We can keep assisting with seminars, cultural awareness, communication, right qualification, they are important. But we realize that sometimes the systemic issues do not allow those efforts to yield much fruit. So it's time for us to call it what it is. It's time for us to take the bulls by the horns. Of course, we're not saying to be fighting around here. Just do the right thing, do it legally, but let's show up. It's time to show up. It is time to declare that we have a skin in the game. It is time for us to participate. And that is why we are coming up with this today. I mean, initially, we started with a few posts. Just before I go here, why Multicultural Leadership Network? Again, we realize that there's a need for leadership. Leadership in everything is absolutely critical. Without leadership, people will keep struggling. So it's high time our leaders really do a bit, or they did a bit more than they've been doing. And I'm not here to cast any negativity at multicultural leaders. They do their best. They try their best. But I think it's time for us to take it to the next level in showing up. So we started with a few posts just to show how what the numbers are saying, the fact that, despite the percentage of population of culturally diverse communities, as much as 30% roughly, our contribution to parliament has been not been commensurate. And we're not saying one-to-one here. We're not saying that a culturally diverse person is going to be the prime minister tomorrow, though it's possible. Wonders still happen. But what we are saying is all about representation. I've talked about that significantly recently. Representation. When you have the right representation at the corridors of power, things get easier for all stakeholders. I think that's the key message. So we recognize that there are some issues which we posted, we actually delivered in one of our posts. Key issues like, entrepreneurship, employment, aging, family life for culturally diverse people. Immigration is a hot potato topic. And sometimes I feel that is the best kept secret. Not understanding the impact of immigration policies. And again, this is not to be so negative, because we have to have leaders, we have to have policymakers, we have to have people that are making decisions. No one is saying that shouldn't happen. Any country that does not have leadership that are making the hard decisions, that country is going nowhere. But the question is, are those decisions representative? Because if we don't have representation at that level, those decisions, those policies, those laws, I'm sorry to say that's the reality, may likely not be representative. So quite a few people will be left out over and over and over again. And we've seen these stories. So we saw some of those key issues, which we would like to just address, because that particular slide was a little busy. So let's take one after the other and try to unpack them in a conversational setting. Because this is not meant, I know there are not many people online today. This is the first in the series. So that's understandable. But I can see one person there, really, maybe a few more. Please feel free to post your comment because no one can do this alone. Ephraim or Multicultural Professional Bridge or Multicultural Leadership Network can never achieve this issue or overcome these issues alone. We have to be collaborative. That's why MLN, Multicultural Leadership Network, the big word there for us is network. We have to be networked as culturally diverse people. Unfortunately, I think this is where we don't do so well. And maybe this is why we've not had a lot of progress, I would say, in some key areas. Because we have not been collaborative, we have not been networked, we have not been working together. You know, many times we are all about doing our own stuff, maybe including myself. I need to do better. But I really think we need to do more. I just have my good friend Kala online. Yes, Kala, I appreciate you, as you know. Thank you for your comments. It's a collective effort indeed. And anyone that has been around this space in WA, Carla Benitez will not be a stranger. She's one of the champions of cultural diversity and the need for us to work together. I honor her. I validate her effort, and I think she has a lot to offer in this space. Thank you, Carla. Please keep the comments going. We try not to keep this for a long time because being a live stream, we just want to highlight the issues and then we can keep the conversations going. But we have to do this together. That's why I appreciate Carla coming online because it wasn't meant for Ephraim to be talking to himself here or for Ephraim to be coming across as if I have the answers. I don't. It's a collective effort, just like Carla said. So I couldn't just reverberate that a bit more, Carla. Thank you so much. And this is why it works, because when we say it together, it carries more weight. And I just want to stay with Carla there. I wish Carla was on screen with me. Maybe there'll be time for that. But, you know, it's a collective effort. And I think culturally diverse community needs to come around this reality. It is a collective effort. Yes, I knew that right from time, Carla. I know you just said it again, but I knew that I can count on you. It is a collective effort. And multicultural communities must learn to work collectively. We're not trying to say that we are taking any arms. Of course not. We're not trying to say we're not appreciative of coming to a blessed country like Australia. Of course not. But what we are saying is that we need to be representative at all levels. I want to say again, we're not saying necessarily that the next prime minister will be a culturally diverse person. Already looking at the current profile, it's not going to be because we know those that are already going on as candidates. And that is why in our hashtag, we actually have our hashtag as MLN hashtag 2025, because really we need to look forward. We cannot afford to keep just catching fires, firefighting. With this kind of stuff we are doing, It takes time. We need to build momentum. We need to build networks. Again, this is for the good of everyone. It's not just core people. It's for the good of Australia. I mean, research, practice, observation has shown that there are benefits in culturally diverse teams. There are benefits in culturally diverse communities. Australia has seen it already. That's why we are here. We are a multicultural Australia because there are benefits. But are we really tapping into those benefits? Are we not losing out, including at the seat of power? Imagine if the parliament is truly multicultural. I bet you we will have better decisions. It doesn't mean that there are no challenges. Yes, diversity brings its challenges as well, because you have to work together. That may slow things down a little bit, but you get better at it. Enough of the digression. Like I said, there are key issues we want to try and just unpack, which culturally diverse communities should be thinking about. We can't address everything within one election or within one stream. But we've picked 7 key areas. Business, how beautiful it is for all the barriers to be taken away so that we can have sustainable, successful, multicultural businesses. There may be few already. Again, we're not saying it's all gloom, but we must keep carrying everybody along. We can have more. Employment, closely related to, I mean, the story of employment is it's all out there. Aging. For people, I am not as too young again. I'm thinking, what will it look like 40 years from now for me? This has caused a lot of tension among culturally diverse people. Do I go back home or not? Home. Some of us still call home. Home is where you've developed your root. Australia. And I think this is one of the reasons why some of us are not focused. I called it in one of my books, tension of the middle. Do I go or not go? And then we are not in the game. We are not participating. We are distracted. And it's not just about us. It affects our children as well. We're not modeling to them. We're not seeing people like them really out there achieving. We need to look forward, strategic. Immigration, big hot potato issue. Best secret, I must tell you, because immigration does a lot. It's not just about allowing people to come in. When you allow people to come in, how do they feel belonging? How can they have more of their lives, not to occupy unnecessarily or negatively? So what are the immigration policies and laws doing to culturally diverse communities and our future? Have you asked yourself that question? What would it look like 30 years from now? Why is it that every time there's always a set of passport holders that are giving precedence? And again, we're not saying these things shouldn't be at all, but could there be a balance? And how long will we have that equation being the way it is? Yes, it may be working, but is it representative? Crime rate, we hear about the gang story, and then future generations. 30 years from now, what would Australia look like for us, for our families? So when we have people in parliament, This is not blaming anyone. We voted them in, and we are voting them in again. And some of them are my friends. They are doing great jobs. But the point is that they may not understand these issues as much as you and I or someone being representative of us there. So that is why those are 7 issues, but we can't do everything at once. So we just need to unpack them little by little. And that is why we came up. Thank you so much, Precious. Thank you very much for the acknowledgement. Thank you for coming by. I appreciate you, a lovely sister. So you can see that we just want to take employment. And like I said, you don't want to spend too much time on live stream, otherwise you lose traction. We know that. Now we're now going to about 25 minutes. And you and I know that once you spend more than 10 minutes, you may have lost some people. This is the first one. I hope people will understand. Employment. Employment is a big issue for culturally diverse people. It is a big issue. I'll give you an example. Take nursing profession. There are culturally diverse people that study nursing here in Australia. We're not talking of those that brought nursing profession from or degrees from overseas. They studied nursing here. For years, they are not able to practice because the professional body brought in some laws, or maybe the laws existed before, that excluded them from practice. I don't think we want to be excluding. Now, we're not promoting that anything goes or lower quality nursing. Australia has one of the best health and medical system, and we are proud of that. But when you hear people lamenting that haven't spent years and finance and energy and aspirations and dreams chasing a nursing degree, and then they come out qualified, but they cannot practice because they don't have English requirement, or they have not done their nursing continuously for 5 years in Australia, or instead of 5 years degree, they only did 4.95 years. And it is painful when you lead in these communities and you see the pain people go through. So can we have enough representation in the parliament that can appreciate these issues? Would they ever be able to appreciate it if they don't have a skin in the game on the other side of the equation? That means they feel the pain, they've experienced it. If you have someone in parliament who have been through this kind of situation, I can assure you that person will advocate well, with the heart, with passion. And I think we will have results in many cases. So this situation have caused a lot of wastage of qualification. I wrote an article one time that how long would culturally diverse people keep flushing their hard-earned qualifications in the drain, in the toilet? Sorry to put it crudely, but that is the reality. How long? I'm all for adaptation, but when adaptation may not be giving people the best they deserve, and when it becomes a loss of resources for Australia, we need to do much more with these barriers. And this comes back to my point. When these barriers may not so much be appreciated, not because our people in parliament are to be blamed, because really, sometimes you can't blame them. They really may not be able to appreciate these issues fully. Some of them are very nice, really, really, they show empathy. They engage. Like I said, some are my friends. I respect them a lot. Nice people. But the point is that they may not appreciate the issues. They may not appreciate the pain that person who has spent years doing nothing and having to end up not using it. Not because the person is not qualified, not necessarily because the person cannot communicate at workplace with English enough, but just because they've not passed some English test. I think, of course, one is not advocating that all this should be just be wiped away. English system. We know English is a value in Australia. We know that. But there shouldn't be barriers. And when it becomes barriers in employment, and this is why we are saying, is our parliament as it is, and they want to be elected next. And if we don't do anything, they want to be elected after that. And after that, if they are not representative, including of called culturally and linguistically diverse people, they may not appreciate these issues fully. But we cannot complain because Parliament, just like this diagram shows, these issues at the top. Remember, this is like the iceberg illustration. The employment, the barriers, and all the wastages that we see are influenced one way or the other. I'm not saying that all our policies are bad, but those policies, those laws, those key decisions, they will influence these issues, rightly or wrongly, for the benefit of some and maybe not for some. And policies are made by policymakers, lawmakers, members of parliament, who we are going to vote on the 21st, Saturday. And again, you can see so far, Multicultural Professional Bridge, MLM, Multicultural Leadership Network, we have not made this a partisan campaign. We're not saying one party is better than the other. Yes, some parties may have policies, may have campaign slogans that could relate more to what we are saying here. But we have been careful not to make this a partisan campaign. No, we cannot afford to do that now, at least not now, because the issues are the issues. It doesn't depend on politics or the political parties. So policymakers will make the policies and laws that will drive those issues for us. The next 3 years, those are going on Saturday, they will make those policies that will affect all of us. So I also hope that they can appreciate it, what we are saying here, but we are after representation. And people, maybe one of the best kept secret, and this is where we need to participate as core people. People, voters, Multicultural Australia are the voters. Ultimately, we call the shots. So I need to bring it to a close here. I wasn't planning to spend this long time. Hopefully, subsequent series will be better. But some of these issues, they are quite complex to unpack. We can continue the conversations on our various platforms, Multicultural Leadership Network. Please search us out in the social handles. Follow us, like us, so that you can keep getting the updates and be involved in the conversations. It's not just enough to go on Saturday and vote, but that is the starting point. We need to vote, but keep getting involved in the conversation. Let us be visible with these issues, so that even if we miss it in 2022, we have 2025 to aim for. Thank you for being with me once again. I just want to thank Carla, my friend. Thank you so much. Carla has always been supportive of what we do. She does a lot in the community as well. And thank you, my precious sister, for coming around to support us. We really appreciate you for being here with us today. When you look at this later, please, it's never too late. Give us your comments, give us your observations, follow our pages so that you can be updated. This is one of 7 series because we really want to unpack those issues. Of course, these 20, 30 minutes have not exhausted employment situation. There's a lot to talk about, but live stream is not meant to be forever. So we'll keep it shorter next edition. Once again, thank you, Carla. I really look forward to keep on engaging with you in this space. I know you have the true heart and passion for multicultural people. And for others, let's keep in touch. Let's keep the conversation going, and we'll see you around. Please, this is a call to participate. This is a call to show up. We have to show up as multicultural people. No one will show up for us. I can assure you that. There are nice people around there. There are nice people in our parliament that would do so much with a good heart. But it is we that have the skin in the game. Our children, our future, we have the skin. So let's show up. And I can tell you, change will come. It's already happening. We are seeing the sign. All right, let's keep conversation going. Hopefully I will not be alone next time. I'm looking forward to having people on the screen with me, really chatting. But like I said, again, seriously, we want to make it non-partisan as much as possible, non-discriminatory for parties. Because, once you start bringing party lines, it just skews the conversation. It makes it more difficult. Of course, we know you have to have, sometimes you have to have a leaning towards a party or two. On Saturday, I'm going to vote. I'm going to vote for one. But when we are doing this, because we are representing a community, we are very cautious and careful not to be discriminatory unnecessarily, but we appreciate parties that already do what we are talking about, that are more representative. We appreciate them, and they need to be validated as well. All right, I'll see you guys around. I don't want to go past the 35 minutes mark. Next edition will be shorter, I can assure you, and hopefully I will have a few people here with me. Thank you very much. Let's keep conversation going. Let's keep in touch. Thank you. Bye-bye. Ephraim, bye-bye.